Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brev. Welcome to What Would Brev Do, episode 5. This is the series where I play an entire ranked seasons game from start to finish and talk about what's going on in my head the entire time. If you guys are new to this series, we have already posted 4 of these episodes so far this year, and we did around 30 of them last year. They're all in the same playlist, and that playlist is in the description below. Also, if you're new, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We've got a ton of good content over here. I don't really have an agenda with today's gameplay. Just kind of wanted to hop on and play. We are going to be starting Dallas Keuchel just for fun. I'm continuing the trend of trying to use guys that I usually wouldn't use just to have a little bit more variety. We have a ton of starting pitcher variety in the game, which is fun. We're running a semi-God squad as well. We're giving some starts to Xander Bogaerts and Aaron Judge, who are new cards. And then also, I wanted to put Semien back at second base. This is a card that I have absolutely raked with, but I feel like I didn't get enough plate appearances with him because a lot of good cards came out right after him. So, yeah, we're hitting 636 with him through 33 at-bats online. So, I did really good, and I wanted to see how Judge and Bogaerts do as well. So that's why they're in the lineup, just trying to mix it up a little bit. Have a little bit of fun, have the team be competitive enough, have Chipper and Ortiz in there just because we spent a lot of money on them, and then mix it up a little bit. I've been using Trey Turner so much on like every account that I might as well try some different shortstop options like Bogaerts and Semien. As I'm searching for the game, I'm tapping left on the D-pad. You only have to do this like once or twice. That restricts my matchmaking to make it as strict as possible, which means I'm going to get matched with someone very close to my rating, which is good because it means we win and lose a fair amount of points because we're not playing someone way above us or way below us. I like doing that a lot. Additionally, I don't know why I said additionally. I don't know where I was going with that. Let's just go into the gameplay. 92 Keuchel, what could possibly go wrong? We're facing parallel to Edward Cabrera. This guy has a super fractor Justin Turner. I can't say I've ever seen that once in my entire life. I gotta give props to him, man. This guy has super fractored Justin Turner from the April Player of the Month program. He's definitely gonna hit 3 bombs against me, without question. He also had the lower tier Vlad super fractored, I think. Weird team, man. When people are running cards like that at this point in the year, they're clearly very comfortable with them, so I'm probably gonna give up 1,000 runs this game. I like that I'm hitting against Edward, though. I don't know if I've hit against Edward Cabrera in a What Would Brev Do yet this year. I've found myself being pretty comfortable against him over time. I think I've just had a lot of reps against him, just playing a lot. And I'm pretty used to velocity with outlier being a thing last year. I think I have a lot more reps against guys like Cabrera than usual. And immediately this guy's platooning a Buxton and Soto. So interesting platoon there. I guess I should have waited for just a second longer before I threw the first pitch. But I really wasn't anticipating him just straight up taking one out right away. I guess it makes sense if he's batting one lead off. Maybe he's just expecting to face a righty. Well, that definitely makes his defense better, too. So, I don't know if I like that. I would rather have him start Juan Soto with my lefty on the mound than go to Buxton and have better defense. Really, actually good platoon by him. Actually, really strong. All right, so Keuchel, sinker cutter from the left side, doesn't throw hard. Also, his sinker cutter don't have a ton of movement. And the speed differential between them is not great. So basically what we're going to be trying to do this game is when we do throw cutters, we want to make sure they're in off the hands against righties, or we're throwing them arm side. Otherwise, that's just the best place to throw them, I've found, when you don't have great speed differential with your cutter and sinker. And that was a nice, easy, clean inning from us. I think that was a 6-pitch inning. All right. Let's see if we can get going versus Edward Cabrera here. Obviously, versus Cabrera, you're going to be seeing a lot of sinkers. People like to tunnel the slider down and away as well. People kind of pitch a lot like deGrom with Cabrera, ironically. It's just instead of the outlier fastball up and in, you're going to see the sinker up and in a lot. So, in general, I think it's best to just sit sinker against Cabrera because that's the whole point of using him, is to try to blow people away with that outlier sinker. So I think if somebody's able to mix in the off speed against you to the point where sit and sinker isn't necessarily productive, then you just got to tip your cap, like right there, sit and sinker. He threw a slider off the plate. If that was Juan Soto, it would have got down, but we didn't deserve a hit there. Good spot by him. I have not played yet today, and also I haven't faced Cabrera in a minute, so this may be just a couple of innings of us getting adjusted. As always, we're trying to be super patient in the beginning of the game and pick up on tendencies. So far, this guy seems pretty standard with his Cabrera sequencing. Going to be a lot of right-on-right sinkers inside and a lot of right-on-right sliders down and away. There's a changeup down and away. He put it right on the black, but we put a good swing on it, and Jackie pokes it through. And now is where I really like to shine against Cabrera. I think you really have to take advantage of having people hitting in the left-handed batter's box against him. I think he is a much worse pitcher right on left than he is right on right. I mean, that's kind of true for most pitchers, but really the power of Cabrera is being able to run sinkers in on your hands right on right? So make sure you're taking advantage of those at-bats when you can. So we will lace a perfect single up the middle, and again, we now have Chipper up, so we're not putting ourselves at a huge disadvantage having everybody in the lineup hitting right-handed. Having switch hitters is obviously very nice for this. And he's still sticking with the sinkers even though we just laced one up the middle. Yeah, that's just too many sinkers, man. It just is. I don't know what to say there. It was kind of reactionary, but I kind of knew too, right? Like, man, he just seems really uncomfortable throwing sinkers to lefties, which again, I find it really strong that your lineup is not too right-handed. I think the biggest weakness of Edward Cabrera is having to pitch to a lineup that doesn't have a lot of people hitting from the right-handed batter's box. That's my best advice. If you have to platoon one or two guys to make that happen for you, I think you can make that work. You could you don't even have to change your lineup. Just change your bench up a little bit to make sure you have a little bit more leverage should you cue into an Edward Cabrera. So a lot of people ask me how to hit against Edward Cabrera. I think that's my best advice. Sit sinker if you can, because that's what people want to throw. And then if you can put yourself in a position to have as many people hitting left-handed as possible, it's really, really strong. Because like I said, the strength of this guy is exactly that. That was a really good swing we put on the ball. But it's just so tough to do anything with that pitch. It's a much different story if we're hitting from the left side. And it's also easier to hit the sinker from the left side, even if they throw it inside, just because of how the timing windows work on this game. So he did finally throw off speed to a lefty here. But it does appear he's having some significant issues locating anything for a strike that isn't the sinker. So there's no reason for us to deviate from our game plan here. Wasn't expecting him to go up and in there. Now we got to make sure we don't chase any off speed. We didn't chase. He did go curveball. Haven't seen that pitch once. Didn't put a good swing on it, but luckily we had a couple of perfects back-to-back, really good at bats, and Chipper got us on the board with a 3-run bomb. Given the fact that this guy sent a friendly quit immediately and has now found himself down 3-0 out of nowhere, he's probably not going to see many strikes. He's probably in a position where he feels, frustrated. He's probably going to try to press a little bit. I don't know how that's not a swing. There's no way, dude. But he hasn't proven to us that he has any plate discipline, and he might even be pressing more than usual just because of how the first inning has gone for him on both sides of the field. So, do with that information what you will, but there's absolutely no reason for me to be throwing this guy anything in the zone right now. So, here we are. He's not going to get anything in the zone until he can prove to us that it's not going to work. Trying to mix up the sliders and cutters in on the hand too, because they have different breaks and speeds. There are situations where you run a cutter in on their hand, and if they have good enough timing, they can keep it fair. So it's good to mix in the slider too. There's not really, sometimes I do pitching tutorials with the guy I'm using in the What Would Brev Do's. There's honestly not a whole lot to say about Dallas Keuchel. Who's going to use this card, to be honest? Mix your speeds. Try to make things that are high off speed look like sinkers. Try to throw sinkers when you think their bat's slow. In this case, if you think they don't have good plate discipline, make sure you are throwing a lot of balls. I'm actually going to go up and away sinker here. I thought about the backdoor cutter as well. I definitely don't want to walk him. I think he maybe is not ready to hit here. So now we're actually going to backdoor the cutter low and away. Hopefully he just takes this and goes down looking. And he did. Boom. Nice. All right, Dallas Keuchel. I am 5 up, 5 down, and I'm still mildly regretting using this card. The things we do for variety. All right, again, the only pitch we've thrown in the zone this entire inning was that backdoor cutter because we had to, because we didn't want to walk him. So this guy is beating himself. It would be my best advice for him to be definitely more patient, especially against someone like Keuchel who's going to top out at like 92. There's no reason his bat should be as fast as it is. Again, I'm never trying to bash my opponent in these videos. This is about me, not him, but that would be my best advice for him, and I think saying that is valid for you guys to learn what is good and not good. So we'll see what he comes back with Edward Cabrera here. This could very well be an auto pitch. It was. So I don't know if he's AFK. Yeah, he's gone. All right, so obviously that wasn't long enough to be a traditional What Would Brev Do, but I thought there was some really good info there, especially on how to hit Edward Cabrera. So we're going to keep that in. Hopefully you guys learned something, and we're just going to hop into game number 2. This kind of sucks for me because now I have to edit it, and it takes forever to export, but I think it's worth it. I don't want to leave you guys hanging on the Edward Cabrera information here because, honestly, for the fact that we only hit for 1 inning, we put on an absolute clinic there. That was pretty much textbook how I like to approach that situation. So if we queue into another person that is also throwing Edward Cabrera, that would be ideal. Then we would kind of have a theme for this video, and I can kind of talk through everything that's going on. If not, it's okay. Hopefully you guys got the gist in the first game that we played. But definitely didn't want to leave that out, and definitely didn't want to post like an 8-minute video. So here we are playing game number 2. We're going to be throwing 94 Greg Maddux this time. Basically right-handed Keuchel, but with way better break and control. And now we are up against Jacob deGrom. This guy's team is very good, especially against right-handed pitching, so Maddux is going to have a rough time, I find. We will see, though. We will see. Not the biggest fan of playing at Dodger Stadium, either. I think the ball dies in the outfield a lot here. We'll see what we can make happen. At least he's a Dodgers fan. You gotta respect it. Gotta respect playing in your team's field. How am I hitting 167 with Trout on this account? It's like 2 for 13 or something. I don't know the math on that. Not good. How was I too early there? 2-seamer. All right, hitting against deGrom. We've done it a bunch. Hold on, 0-2 here. Got me to chase the curve. The most common sequencing is sliders low and away, fastballs up and in. Again, it's like I said when Cabrera was on the mound, it's basically the same thing as Cabrera. It's just a fastball instead of a sinker. Our bat was way too fast there. That was a horrendous at bat by all accounts, so I apologize for that. We will figure it out. As you've seen in these episodes, it takes me, anywhere between 1 and 9 innings to figure out Jacob deGrom, so that's been my experience online. But as always, we're trying to be patient at the beginning of the game. I don't know if I said that last game, but I should say it every game because we're really just trying to figure out information, figure out what our opponent likes to throw where, and try to use that information later on in the game in high leverage spots. That's kind of just the approach in general. All right, Jackie with 99 speed in a 3-1 count. I'm just going to take this. If he walks me, that's beautiful. That is an absolutely ridiculous 3-1 pitch. Nothing I'm going to do with that anyway. We'll see if he counters with the fastball now. He did. Wow. That was disgusting. If he threw either of those pitches an inch to the right, it would have been a walk. And he managed to catch the corner twice. Unbelievable. Just got to tip your cap there, man. I wasn't going to do anything with either of those pitches anyway. So we're 2-0 with Schwarber. Shift is on. Once again, being patient. I'm basically looking for hanging off speed at this point. 3-0 to Schwarber. Absolutely taken all the way here now, especially with Chipper on deck. And we will go from here after he pumps this strike in. Now I'm being very patient again, but just mostly looking for hanging off speed if he wants to get cute. That was not hung at all. Beautiful spot. Guy is hitting his spots. We got to be very careful about inside sliders now. Yep, that was too close to take, but that is exactly the pitch we have to be able to lay off of if it's just a little bit more off the plate. We'll see if he goes to the 4-seam, the same sequence as last time. He did, and we were ready for it. All right, he didn't catch us twice with that. He still dotted us again. I guess that one was a little bit higher. But yeah, that's exactly the sequence he just got Jackie Robinson out on, so we have to be ready to hit the fastball there. It's the most likely path that he's going to take to try to tunnel that slider and catch me looking with another fastball, because he's already shown himself that it works once in just the at-bat before. Not much to say about that Chipper Jones double. Chipper Jones is a beast. A perfect the other way for a double. And now we're sitting fastball, trying to get this run home. First pitch hacking, and he did go slider. I'm sitting fastball again. I wanna rip one in the gap here. That is not in the gap, but that is Aaron Judge making it a 3-0 game. So let's talk about that. Why am I sitting fastball? Well, that's the pitch I feel like I can do the most damage on, and the pitch I can have the most success with when I'm being hyper-aggressive early in the count. The reason I want to be hyper-aggressive early in the count there is because I feel like I have a lot of momentum, especially off the back of 2 consecutive perfects, and I have a guy in scoring position with 2 outs. And so I want to do everything in my power to take advantage. If he's going to lay one in there, we want to make sure we're ready to hit there. That is definitely not a spot with Aaron Judge where we want to be patient, because we have an opportunity to do a lot of damage. Even just hitting a single there is going to score us another run, and we already have our opponent on their back foot following those 2 perfects. So really good spot to be aggressive there, pretty much textbook. We'll see if he goes to the low and enforce him again just for dignity. He went to the backdoor slider, and now I don't know what he's going to throw. The slider in at my feet is a possibility. Trying to paint the four-seamer on me again just to give himself confidence back in that pitch is also a possibility. And he did the exact same tunnel, but on the other side of the plate. Interesting. We were lucky to foul that, to be honest. I wonder if he just goes fastball again. He went curve just below the zone. Beautiful pitch, but we did some absolute work in the top of the first there. Extremely happy with how that went. And now with Trey Turner leading off, I'm actually going to go bunt defense in. I think I've done this in an episode before. But given the fact that we just had an amazing top half of the first, and our opponent could possibly, very likely be rattled, given how this game has developed already, definitely want to make sure I'm bunt defense in against Trey Turner here. Even if he's hacking, it's not the worst thing in the world. He is hacking. That was actually a really good swing. Can Judge make this play? Wow, that left. That was weird. I'm surprised that went out. Usually when they give you the ball indicator, they don't leave. Okay, I respect the Trey Turner. He did, in fact, not bunt. That is confirmed. But yeah, I like to do that because the easiest way for them to get momentum back is with a leadoff base runner, right? And if they're a little bit rattled about what happened in the top half, maybe they feel the easiest way to get back the momentum and get that leadoff base runner on is to bunt. So that's why we did it. Obviously didn't work out. He put a great swing on the ball there on the low and away slider. Honestly threw it exactly where we wanted to. Just nothing we could do. All right, Greg Maddux. Pitching with him is nothing crazy. I did actually do an entire episode on how to pitch with him last year. I thought he was really good and nobody used him. Well, people used him, but not for long. So if you want to see how to sequence specifically with Greg Maddux, I did actually do an entire video on it last year. It's pretty typical with the sinker cutter stuff, but I do find myself throwing high changeups a lot, and I'm actually going to feature that here. The high sinker into the high circle change is a really good tunnel because they actually have the same lateral break. That was a really good swing by him as well. So it's really good to throw changeups up with Maddux, I have found. But that guy absolutely raked that inning, so wow, this is not real. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to post it. It's 2 banger first innings against 2 of the best pitchers in the game. I think you guys learned something. I hope you guys learned something. Let me know what you thought down in the comments if you have any questions. Sorry it's so short. I did my best, but honestly for the innings that we did play, lots of information, really good stuff. So hope you guys liked it. Take care. I'll see y'all next time.